you got a lot of teams that I think could at least half, like six teams, 6, 7 teams that could contend for the SEC championship. So yeah, I definitely look forward to that. But let's get into the week 2 games and predictions. Now this week is not really a lot of good games, but the games that I picked out, especially this first one, number 4 Texas will take on number 10 Michigan this Saturday in Ann Arbor on the road, August 7th at 12 o'clock, 12 p.m. Now I'm watching Joel Clack and other people. I watched a video saying, this could be interesting. I think it'll be a close game. Even my dad said it. But I think, to be honest, after watching Michigan struggle against, I know it's week 1. Bear with me. But the way they look against Fresno State, I know you lost J.J. McCarthy. I know you lost Blake Corum. I know you lost your head coach, Jim Harbaugh. I know you lost your offensive coordinator and defensive coordinator to the NFL because Jim Harbaugh brought them with him to the NFL, or at least I think the defense coordinator, he brought him with him to with my Chargers to help coach the team. But yeah, they still got Donovan Edwards. I know that I had questions at quarterback. I thought Alex Orji would be the starter, but he's not. I forgot the dude's name who got named the starter quarterback. Now Jerome Moore, he is a good coach. He did a really good job in Jim Harbaugh's place, but to be fair, though, he did have those players that Jim Harbaugh recruited: Blake Corum, Donovan Edwards, J.J. McCarthy, and so on. So a lot of them players are gone. Like, I think Michigan has a whole new offensive line now. So yeah, they did, and plus they didn't run the ball all that well either. I know I was watching college football. It said Michigan gave up only 9 rushing yards total the whole game against Fresno State. So their defense looked good. But again, that's Fresno State. This is Texas. Even though Texas did lose one of their star running backs due to injury, Texas is still physical. Now, this is their first year in the SEC, but they're still. I think Steve Sarkisian has recruited well. He has, he got big men in the trenches on the offensive line and defensive line. So Texas is ready for the SEC. And you got the returning quarterback, Quinn Ewers. You got one of the best backup quarterbacks in the nation, named Arch Manning, who's going to be really good next year for Texas. And I think it was pretty smart for him to stay, especially with somebody like Steve Sarkisian as your coach. But I just trust Texas more because, one, even if it's a close game, let's say Texas wins 17-10. I think that is going to come down to the quarterback play and physicality. I trust Quinn Ewers a whole lot more than I trust Alex Orji or the other quarterback. So, and plus, like I said, Texas has Isaiah Bond. They have a lot of good other receivers, even though they did lose A.D. Mitchell. That's who I forgot last episode. A.D. Mitchell and Xavier Worthy. They did lose them, but they did gain Isaiah Bond from Alabama. They did gain a couple other players from the transfer portal and that they recruited. So I think Texas is going to be fine. To be honest, I expect a blowout. Something like I can say 23-3 win. I just think Texas is going to out-physical Michigan. And Texas is going to state that they're a college football playoff contender, and Michigan maybe not so much at least this year. After this year, I think Michigan probably will get back to that. But being that this is Jerome Moore's first full year as the full-time head coach, and you just lost J.J. McCarthy, you just lost Jim Harbaugh, it's going to be pretty hard. And you got to play Oregon. You got to play Penn State. You got to play Ohio State. And now Texas. Ooh. But yeah, I'm going Texas and a big win over Michigan. Next up, we got Arkansas versus number 16th ranked Oklahoma State. I'm going to go Oklahoma State simply because, like I said, they got arguably the best running back in the nation, Ollie Gordon, the second, who's probably going to be a Heisman Trophy candidate this year. Like I said, Oklahoma State, finished second in the Big 12, lost to Texas in the Big 12 championship game. Arkansas, I don't too much know about their team this year. I know they lost KJ Jefferson, who transferred to UCF. But like I said, Arkansas, they weren't really good that last year, so I'm going to have to go Oklahoma State in a big win over Arkansas. That'll be this Saturday, August 7th, 12 o'clock. Next game, Cal taking on Auburn this Saturday, August 7th at 3:30. I'm going Auburn. Like I said, I just think Auburn has, too many weapons. Cam Coleman, Perry Thompson, the transfer from Ohio State. They can run the ball. So really, as long as Peyton Thorne does not turn the ball over, I think last year they said he did not play all that well. Last year against on the road at Cal. But I think this year, like I said, it's a different season. It's a different year. It's at Auburn. It's at Georgia. I was thinking about going to this game, but I'm going to wait until they get to SEC play. I want to go when Auburn plays SEC competition. I want to see Cam Coleman going against Arkansas or Alabama, Oklahoma. I want to see that. And like I said, that's one player who I definitely can't wait to see play. I'm going to try my very best, y'all, to get him in an interview on my podcast. I promise you, I don't know when. It ain't going to be easy. I know I did talk to him about it when I used to work at the car wash, so I feel like he would do it. But I'm still, like, as far as schedule, like, is he free? I'm free, so that's why I said it's going to be hard. But I'm going Auburn over Cal. Next up, we got South Carolina and Kentucky. This one I was going back and forth because South Carolina did struggle in their game at home. Kentucky dominated Southern Miss. But I'm gonna go Kentucky. Kentucky is usually good. They got Mark Stoops. Mark Stoops, brother of Bob Stoops, who's like Oklahoma. He's a pretty good coach. I like Kentucky at home. Now, if it was at South Carolina, maybe I'll lean towards South Carolina, but I'm going Kentucky to win. Maybe in a close one against South Carolina, but I won't be surprised if it's a blowout. Next up, we got 14th ranked Tennessee taking on them 24th ranked NC State. This one was pretty interesting because also NC State struggled at home in their home opener against the FCS team. Tennessee dominated at home. You got Nico who balled out. But I'm gonna go with Tennessee because, like I said, I think Tennessee has the better quarterback. They have the better talent. I think they have a brighter future. Even though NC State is a good team, they're not a bad team. So don't take that as they're a bad team. I know that NC State's not a bad team. I'm just going based off of week 1 and what happened last week. And even though it's on the road, I trust Tennessee more than I do NC State. Next game, we got Colorado taking on Nebraska on the road Saturday, August 7th, 7:30 p.m. Now, last year, this game was a blowout. Shedeur looked phenomenal. Travis looked phenomenal. Jimmy Horn, all of them looked phenomenal. But this is a different year. This is a different Nebraska. Nebraska had horrible quarterback play. Horrible. It was bad. I watched that game. It was bad. Now, this year is completely different. You got Dylan Raiola, 5-star freshman out of Buford High School from Buford, Georgia. They got completely different. This is going to be a night game. So this, for sure that crowd is going to be loud. I thought about going Colorado because I love Deion. I love Shedeur. Travis. Both of them going to be first-round picks in next year's draft. But I'm going to have to go Nebraska. One, because I just don't know how Colorado's defense is going to look against Nebraska. Are they going to be able to stop the run? Are they going to be able to get pressure on Dylan Raiola, who's only a freshman? Are they going to be able to do that? Are they for sure going to be able to protect Shedeur? You're playing higher competition, not playing the FCS team this week. You're playing the FBS team, a Power 4 school in the Big Ten, from the Big Ten Conference. Will you be able to do that? Now, I'm going to be rooting for Colorado. Don't get me wrong. I love time. If Colorado wins, it would not shock me at all. So let me say that. It would not shock me at all because how good Shedeur is, Travis is, Jimmy Horn Jr. is, Shiloh, and they got other receivers like that some of us don't know about or really need to pay attention to. But Colorado does need to run the ball better. Shannon Sharp said that on Nightcap also. They do need to run the ball better. You can't ask Shedeur to pass it like 30, 40 times a game. You have to run the ball better to mix it up, play action, take pressure off of Shedeur, Travis, and them. Got to be able to run the ball. But I'm going Nebraska in a close one. Even though, like I said, I'm not saying Dylan Raiola is better than Shedeur. I don't think so. But I just trust, overall as a team, I trust Nebraska right now more than Colorado. Just a little bit. But next game, lastly, going Boise State taking on number 7 Oregon. This will be Saturday, August 7th at 10 p.m. Hopefully a lot of us, I'll be up watching it. But I know a lot of people at that time usually be asleep. But I'm going to be up watching this game. Boise State's arguably, one of the best a group of 5 teams. They're one of the favorites to make the college football playoff because at least the highest ranked group of 5 conference champion gets automatic bid into the college football playoff. And it was between Liberty and Boise State. I went with Liberty, but Boise State was my second choice. Now Oregon, they're ranked number 7th. For those you don't know, last week they was ranked number 3rd in the preseason poll. I feel like I know they struggled against Idaho. I was shocked. Only 24-14. Watching the highlights, I was shocked. And now it's only week 1. Don't panic. I know Joel Clark said he's panicking. I know Joel, you the expert. I'm the upcoming journalist. You don't know who I am, but I will say this: give Oregon some time. I think it's week 1. They just got new uniforms. Oregon's flashy, especially when it comes to uniforms. You know, it's week 1. They may be a little rusty. Dylan Gabriel is his first year at Oregon. He just transferred there from Oklahoma. He may be trying to get used to, the offense, the receivers. I know they had fall camp. I know they had spring ball. But it's different when you're going against another team that's not your own players that you're practicing against. So it's different. At Oklahoma, he had more chemistry at the time. I think it'll be all fine. Like, okay, they watch the film. They'll get better, learn their mistakes. I think Oregon will be just fine in this game. I would have been okay if they slid down to 4 or 5, but 7, dropping 4 spots, that's overreacting. It's one game. That's overreacting. But I'm going with Oregon to win over Boise State. Like, I'll say probably like 35-17. I think Oregon plays better. Now, if they let Boise State's running back Ashton Genty run for 200 yards, then it's going to be an ugly game. I mean, Boise State will win. But yeah, those are the games I got. I got Texas over Michigan, Oklahoma State over Arkansas, Auburn over Cal, Kentucky over South Carolina, Tennessee over NC State, Nebraska over Colorado, and I got Oregon again over Boise State. Now, lastly, let's get into some NFL football. I know a lot of y'all are excited about NFL season. We got a lot of good games. And to start off, we got the Ravens versus the Chiefs and the rematch in the AFC Championship game this Thursday, August 5th, 8:20 p.m. Now, I want to say shout out to my team leader, Miss Shay. She told me to make sure to talk about this. Who I think should the Chiefs have won the Super Bowl? And I didn't say that. I think I said no because I think Kyle Shanahan choked that game. The 49ers probably should have won. Just like the first time the 49ers played the Chiefs in the Super Bowl a couple years ago, they should have won that game. Run the ball. Stop calling these ridiculous plays. And because if you keep giving Patrick Mahomes chance after chance after chance, at some point he's going to cash in. You can't kick field goals and beat Patrick Mahomes. You just can't. Now, again, this is a rematch from last year's AFC Championship game. The Ravens, in my opinion, should have won this game. They were the better team. You had the Chiefs right where you want them. You were the best team all year last year in the regular season. At home, you got Lamar, the reigning 2-time MVP, even though at the time it wasn't announced. You got a really good running game. J.K. Dobbins, Gus Edwards. You got Derek Lively. I think the old boy played in that game, the tight end. And I don't know if Mark Andrews played in that game. Odell played a little bit, but I think Ravens got away from running the ball, and they played to the Chiefs' strengths, was the Chiefs' secondary with Ladarius Sneed and Murray, the slot corner, and they ended up losing that game. I know Lamar, like I said, Lamar does deserve the criticism, but I feel like he kind of also did all he can, like the receivers dropping the ball, fumbling, like he can't control that. But the picks he threw, yeah, that was on him. So I do think he does deserve half the credit, especially if you are the star quarterback, the best player on the team. He deserves at least 50%. Now, last year the Chiefs did lose their home opener at home against Detroit. I was shocked about that. I was rooting for the Lions, but I picked the Chiefs. This one I was going back and forth, but I'm going to go Kansas. If it was in Baltimore, I would go with the Ravens. But I'm going with the Chiefs because I just think they're gonna be motivated to get that 3-peat at home in that environment. You can't bet against Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid, Travis Kelce. He may be getting older, but he's still Travis Kelce. The receivers, I'm a little worried. Like I know, like Xavier Worthy got all this hype, but will he step up? Will Rasheed Rice continue to step up? Will Hollywood Brown step up? You know, with Sky Moore step up. So and play. No, I think they'll be able to run the ball. Isaiah Pacheco, they're gonna be able to run the ball with him. Chris Jones gonna be Chris Jones. He's gonna dominate. So and like I said, plus the Ravens got some new offensive linemen. So I'm a little bit worried about that. They did lose J.K. Dobbins and Gus Edwards in free agency to my Chargers. But they did sign Derrick Henry, so that's a good thing. With him, I think he's better, obviously better than both those running backs. If the Ravens want to win this game, they got to run the ball with Derrick Henry. Establish the run game with Lamar and Derrick Henry. Use Lamar's legs. Lamar slimmed down from 230 back to 205, 210. So he's back at his normal weight. So he's going to be able to run faster. Use Lamar's legs. That's what makes him Lamar. His arm and his legs. He got to use both. If he just uses his arm, they're going to lose this game. Because even though the Chiefs lost Ladarius Sneed, they traded him to Tennessee, they still got a pretty good secondary. But I'm going to have to go with the Chiefs. I just trust Patrick Mahomes, especially at home in Kansas City. I'll go but a close one. I'll probably say like something like 23-20 Kansas City. I can see that, but it would not shock me if Baltimore win this game. That'll be Thursday, August 5th. This week, August 8:20 p.m. Next up, we got the Packers taking on the Eagles in Mexico on Peacock, Friday, August 6th, 8:15. This one I went a little back and forth because, like I said, I'm worried about the Eagles' defense. The Eagles had one of the worst secondaries in the league last year. Bad. Led by James Bradbury. Now, good news is, sorry that he's hurt, but he won't be playing in this game. The Eagles did phenomenal in free agency in the draft. They drafted Quinyon Mitchell from Toledo in the first round. They drafted Cooper DeJean in the second round out of Iowa. So they drafted two really good players in the draft for their secondary. I hope to see both of them play. I think both of them got really good potential. Quinyon Mitchell from Toledo and Cooper DeJean from Iowa. And, they still got Darius Slay, big play Slay. So you can't count him out. They did lose Fletcher Cox, who retired. They still got Brandon Graham. I think Jordan Davis, Nolan Smith both got to step up. Jalen Carter he's gonna be special. I think he's gonna take a step forward, but Jordan Davis really got to step up. I think Nolan Smith is gonna step up a little bit, because you just lost Fletcher Cox. Brandon Graham is getting older, so. But yeah, I feel like the Eagles but really the key besides the Eagles defense is Jalen Hurts. Can Jalen get back to that MVP caliber season when he almost won the MVP 2 years ago? Can he get back to that, but not turn the ball? Now, I will give this. Jalen Hurts was hurt. But watching him play, when I heard Shannon Sharp say Jalen Hurts looks hurt, and when I seen him play, he did look hurt. Like the way he ran, like when he was under pressure and he couldn't outrun the defensive end or slid, and without trying to run, he did look hurt. But if he's 100% and he doesn't turn the ball over, I think the Eagles will get the win. Now, it'll be a close one because, like I said, Jordan Love had a really good year last year. He's balled out. A couple people has him winning MVP. I watched Pick a Side podcast. Shout out to them. One of them picked Jordan Love to win MVP. I won't go that far yet because it's only one season. But they do got a really good receiving core. Romeo Doubs, Christian Watkins. You signed Josh Jacobs in free agency. You still got Jair Alexander. You got good players on defense. So, Rashawn Gary on the defensive line. So, they got some really good players. And I think they got a bright future. So, I wouldn't go with MVP right now. Give it another. I want to see another season of Jordan Love. If he balls out like he did last year. Because remember, in the beginning of the season last year, he did good. Then in the middle, he struggled. And then late, he played good. So, can he do it again? Like after getting paid, now you're making $50+ million a year after 1 year starting. So I think he has a bright future. But I'm going Eagles slightly. Now if it was in Green Bay, I would go Packers. But it's a neutral site. Like Philly's offense signing Saquon in free agency. You got AJ Brown, Devontae Smith, two known receivers, Dallas Goedert. Even though they did lose Jason Kelsey, he retired. They still got a really good offensive line. So, and they got new offensive coordinator Kellen Moore. So I like the Eagles. I think they're gonna be better. I know a lot of people are down on them because of their defense, and I am worried. I just want to see how their secondary looks, but I'm still going to Eagles over Packers. Next up, and that'll be an 8:15 game on Peacock. You can watch the Packers versus the Eagles on Peacock. It'll be in Mexico at 8 o'clock Friday. Now let's get into the Sunday games. Cardinals versus Bills. This one a little bit back and forth because the Bills lost Stephon Diggs. They lost Gabe Davis. You drafted a rookie receiver, Keon Coleman, but he's a rookie. The Cardinals, Kyler Murray, he should be 100%. Now, you drafted Marvin Harrison Jr. He's going to be special. But if it was in Arizona, I would go Cardinals. But this is in Buffalo. It's not easy to play in Buffalo. And Arizona is an indoor team. So I would have to slightly go Buffalo. I'm not confident, but I think Buffalo will slightly get the run over Arizona. It's going to be a good game. I think slightly. Even without Stephon Diggs, I think Buffalo finds a way to win it. I think they run the ball with James Cook, get Keon Coleman involved, and I think Josh Allen will use his legs. I think Buffalo gets the win. That'll be a 1 o'clock game. Next up, Patriots versus Bengals, also 1 o'clock, August 8th. I'm going Bengals big. The Patriots did name Jacoby Brissett the starter, but they have a horrible receiving core. I don't see not one good player on their team. They now on defense they got some potential like with Christian Gonzalez, but you traded away Matthew Judon. So where's your pass rush going to come from? So yeah, I think even without Jamar Chase, if Jamar Chase doesn't play because he's still trying to get that deal, he's trying to get paid, which he deserves his money. I think the Bengals will blow out New England. I just see a blowout. I don't see how Patriots compete in this game. I think Joe Burrow balls out, and this will be a complete blowout. Next up, we got Minnesota taking on the New York Giants, also 1 o'clock. This one went back and forth because I was like, it's at home, but Daniel Jones is a turnover machine. And the New York Giants really have no offense outside of Malik Neighbors, and he's a rookie that they just drafted this year from LSU. They traded away they lost their best player in free agency. Now their defense is going to be legit. Brian Burns, you got Dexter Lawrence. They got promise. So I think the defense could probably keep them in the game. I'm a little bit worried about the Minnesota because J.J. McCarthy, did get hurt. Now, he wasn't going to start, but at some point he's going to play. Sam Darnold, he's an okay quarterback. They did sign Justin Jefferson, so I think I want Minnesota because I trust somebody like Justin Jefferson. I think he's going to make a big play to help Minnesota win this game. I'm going to Vikings slightly over New York. Next up, we got Tennessee versus Chicago, August 8th at 1 o'clock p.m. also. I'm going Chicago Bears. I think Caleb Williams should play very well in this game. You got Keenan Allen from my Chargers. You got Rome Odunze, who you drafted from Washington. You got DJ Moore, who's already there. You got DeAndre Swift. You got a lot of weapons on that offense. And you got Montez Sweat on defense. Tyron Johnson at corner. So they got a lot of talent. I think the Bears will win this game. It might be a good game. I just want to see how Will Levis does because you did lose Derrick Henry. I know you got DeAndre Hopkins. You did sign Calvin Ridley in free agency. You got Burks, who you drafted from Arkansas. You did also get Tyler Boyd, but it's on the road in Chicago. And out, like I say, in that weather, I think I'm gonna go with the Bears slightly over Tennessee. I think it might be a good game, but I'm going Caleb Williams and the Bears. Next up, we got Carolina taking on the Saints, August 8th at 1 o'clock. This one I'll go back and forth because I'm like, the Saints were really not that good. Derek Carr struggled. Michael Thomas wasn't healthy. Alvin Kamara wasn't really that healthy either. The Panthers were horrible. Bryce Young, they had no protection, really no weapons outside of Adam Thielen. And I'm like, if this game was in Carolina, I would lean towards them, but I'm going the Saints slightly in a close game because I trust the Saints defense more with Cam Jordan and the corner, number 23, Marshawn Lattimore. I trust Marshawn Lattimore. I trust Tyrann Mathieu and Cam Jordan more than I do the Carolina Panthers. So I'm going to Saints at home over the Panthers. Next up, we got the Steelers versus Atlanta, August 8th, 1 o'clock. Now, this is interesting. Russell Wilson was named the starting quarterback. We're going to see how he looks. Let's see how he looks with George Pickens, how that running game looks, how that offensive line look. Now, in the preseason, they struggled. So I'm a little worried. I know Stephen A. Smith, first take, was worried because his offensive line running game looked horrible. And it's reported that I don't even think Najee Harris is going to start. So, dang, that kind of says a lot. Like, maybe he's not the guy. I know Steelers fans are sad that they didn't get Brandon Ayuk. That sucks too. But they do got TJ Watt on defense. They got Mika Fitzpatrick. They got Joey Porter Jr. at corner. So the Steelers got a good defense. You got one of the best head coaches in football who never has had a losing record, and Mike Tomlin. So you can't really count them out completely. But Atlanta, I love it. I look what they did. Besides drafting Michael Penix Jr. because I feel like they didn't need him. Not that Michael Penix Jr. didn't deserve to be a first round pick. I think he did. But it would have made more sense if he got drafted by Seattle, a team that could use him. But Atlanta, you got Kirk Cousins, you got Bijan Robinson, you got Kyle Pitts, Drake London. You got all these weapons. Now on defense, you got Jesse Bates, you got Justin Simmons, who you signed in free agency from Denver, AJ Terrell, Matthew Judon, who you traded with the Patriots. So they got a defense now, so there should be no excuses for Atlanta on defense. They should be the favorite. I'm picking them to win the NFC South. They should be the favorite. They have a team that can contend to make the playoffs. Should be no excuses now, because last year they had horrible quarterback play with Marcus Mariota, even though I like Marcus, and Taylor Heineke. But they got a quarterback now. Kirk Cousins can stay healthy. Cause when he's healthy, he's a good quarterback. Because last year he led the league. He was leading the league in touchdown passes and yards before he got hurt. So remember that. I know Atlanta Falcons fans may not like Kirk Cousins no much, but look more into that. Kirk is a really good quarterback. Next up, we got Jacksonville versus Miami. This could be a good game, but I'm going Miami. I trust Tua more, Tyreek, Cheetah, Jaden Waddle. Odell's not going to play, but even without him, I trust it with Devon Achane and Raheem Mostert. That speed offense, I trust them more. They still got Jalen Ramsey, even though they don't got Xavier Howard and old buddy that they lost to the Las Vegas Raiders. I forgot his name. I'll remember it later. But the game's in Miami. I know it's still Florida, but the game's in Miami, and I trust Miami a little bit more than I do Trevor Lawrence and Jacksonville. Next up, another 1 o'clock game. You got Houston versus Indy. Now, this game, I think will be close, but because I don't know how Anthony Richardson is going to look coming from injury, because last year he played 4 games, and he looked good in those 4 games too before he got hurt. But I think with Houston, traded for Stephon Diggs, you got Nico Collins, you got Tank Dell, you got they traded for Joe Mixon, they got Will Anderson, they got old buddy, the corner from LSU. Oh, I forgot his name. I don't remember. But they have really good players. So I expect Houston to be a top AFC team this year. I got them winning the AFC South. I think they win this game. I can see them winning by like 24 to 17. But I think Houston wins against the Colts at Indy. Next up, we got the Las Vegas Raiders taking on my Chargers. This will be a 4:05 p.m. game.